What's up YouTube? This is the Wisco Butter channel. My name is Chad and this video is going to be all about making the table. Well, mostly all about making the table for the dinette. I'm going to show you just a couple little things here before I get started. I do have the air conditioner air inlet vent and the panel out of the boat. This material was ripped. You can see the nice big tear in the material there. So I am replacing the vinyl on that panel, and the vent for the intake itself actually had a crack in it. So fixing that. The other boat related project is this right here, the little piece of trim on the exterior of the boat, right where the sliding side door is on the port side. So that's another tiny little project. I'm not videoing these, but always something going on in the garage here that's usually boat related. But this video is all about making the tabletop for the dinette. You can see I have a map of Door County here that I have meticulously cut out with an X-Acto knife. This is a map that National Geographic puts out, Wisconsin's Door Peninsula, and it is really getting windy outside. But this is a waterproof map, so it cuts really nice. You can't tear it. So cutting with an X-Acto knife is really easy to do. It's kind of a plasticky material, but I've got the peninsula cut out. I also have sections cut out here for the upper part of the Bay of Green Bay. You can see this moves, that's separate. And then the northern Wisconsin, which ends right here. And then the upper peninsula. That's another section. So I will be piecing these together. I'm also going to cut the peninsula in half here at Sturgeon Bay and the canal. And I'm going to lay this onto some 3/4 inch plywood and then use some epoxy and hopefully make this look like a table that's got the peninsula surrounded by water. So that's the idea anyway. I've got this cut out. The next thing I need to do is just go to Menards and grab a piece of 4x4 3/4 inch plywood and start laying this out. And I don't exactly know how this is going to go yet. I've got some ideas, watched some YouTube videos on how to do this. I think that I can make this work over the Christmas break. Tonight is Tuesday, the 21st of December. We are unfortunately going to have to stay home for Christmas due to some COVID issues within the family. So I will be home for the next 12 days, almost 2 weeks. So hopefully I can get this done over the Christmas break and we'll have an awesome result to bring up to the boat after the first of the year. So off to the store I go to get some plywood and we'll figure this whole thing out. It's going to be some tracing, trimming, chiseling, routing, epoxy. It's going to be fun. Here is my starting point for the table. I have a piece of 3/4 inch ACX plywood already cut out to the size of the table, which is 26 inches wide by 46 inches long. Underneath here is a piece of nice and straight BCX. This was a ready panel at Menards that I found that was nice and flat. So this piece, I've already traced out this onto this. But this is going to be the underside of this table. It's going to be a 2-piece table. So the top is going to be the pretty part, and then the bottom is going to be the part that will go down and rest between the benches to create the kids' bed or lounging area. So I'll cut this out later. But for now, I'm going to try to show you how I'm going to lay out I'm going to use a map of Door County, but I'll explain what I'm going to do here in a second. So using the map previously shown, these are the pieces. Get them off to the side here. The corner is going to go right down here, right up against the edge to get a nice and straight layout of the peninsula. I'm going to get this laid out And I need to go get some push pins so that I can keep everything in place while I lay this out. And then I'm gonna trace around the whole thing and then remove this. And then the idea is to take a router and route out a quarter of an inch or so off the plywood. So all of this area out here, this is all gonna be routed away by about a quarter of an inch. And then I've got some epoxy coming with some ocean blue pigment that I'm gonna add to it and make this all look like water. So far, so good on the tracing of the map. You can see I've got a couple of pieces already removed. That's Chambers Island there, and that's Washington Island. So I'm going to remove the remaining tacks here and reveal what's left behind. I just looked at a map and just drew a rough line there of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. That doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not worried about that particular detail. So I can now take away the map portion and reveal the outline of Door County that's left behind and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I did leave enough room for the canal here. So all of this area out here is going to be routed away down a quarter inch, 3/16, something like that. I may try to use a torch to color some of this, but then after the blue epoxy is in, I'm going to cover the whole thing in a layer of clear epoxy. Fingers crossed that this will work. I have no idea. I've never done this before. Just watched a bunch of videos, and I think I can make it work. But that's how the table's going to look. It is the day after Christmas, and I've got an afternoon of work planned for the tabletop for the dinette. I'm just about to go outside and set up the sawhorses to put the board on. I've got my router set up. I'm using a mortising bit. I could not find a planing bit or a straight bit that was wide enough. And this is actually not quite as wide as I'd hoped I'd be able to find. The router has got 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches of opening on the face there. Couldn't find anything bigger than a 3/4 inch bit. So I'm using a 3/4 inch mortising bit, and the depth is set at 1/4, which should take off about 2 layers of material on the plywood. So it should bring it right down to there. I hope this works. I've never used a router as I'm not even really planing. I'm removing material to the same level in order to leave a raised area behind. So I hope this works. It's not really a huge sort of project, I guess. It's just something I've never done before. So I am gonna have to come back and, I mean, if you look at some of the details here, like I'm not gonna be able to get the router bit into these areas here. That one maybe, but I mean, you know, these little pockets, you know, in there, I'm not gonna be able to get into those areas, especially down here. Those areas and then going through the canal. That's not gonna work with the router. So I did order some wood carving tools. So today I'm just gonna work on getting the bigger portion of the material removed, and I'll start working on removing some of the material with the chisels that I have until the woodworking tools get here, which should be probably tomorrow or Tuesday. So I'll get everything set up and get the camera set up, and hopefully this works. You know, we're only talking a $50 piece of plywood here. You know, no big deal. All right, there's a little bit of a breeze, so hopefully you can hear my voice. We got everything set up here, and we'll start the routing. Eye protection, ear protection. Here we go. Whew. Yeah, that made a little bit of a mess. Oh well, but this worked out quite nicely. Let's take it inside and have a better look at it. All right, back in the warm shop, and let's take a look at some of the details as I have the majority of the cutouts done with the router. So I did a 1/4 inch depth, which took off 2 layers of the plywood. See that there. So all of this rough cutout here, I'm not going to do anything with. It's going to get covered with blue epoxy, so you won't see any of these marks. I need to start working on some of the details here with a chisel, and sometime in the next couple of days I'm supposed to get a package from Amazon with some fine wood carving tools. And then after I get the harbors, bays, channels, all that stuff taken out, get the islands cleaned up, I'm going to put a border around the table using some poplar. This is 1/2 inch wide by 2 inch by 4 feet, pieces here, pre-cut, pre-packaged, but these are going to go around the edge of the table, obviously cut to the correct length, and provide a ledge for 2 reasons. One will be to keep the epoxy from rolling off the edge of the table, and 2 will be to keep anything sitting on the table from rolling off from the boat rolling, whether underway or sitting in the marina. I'm going to get the chisel out and see if I can do anything with some of these smaller areas before the carving tools get here. But I really may not be able to do much more today. Well, I'm just going to have to wait until my carving tools get here. I was able to use the chisel to notch this little area out here. also here on Chambers Island. They're not super great because my chisel is just not sharp enough. That's not going to change the look or the quality of how that's going to turn out, but I do want sharper, a little bit sharper edges around the raised portions of the table here. So I started to use a jeweler's file to mark out the channel, and that just simply isn't sharp enough either. The jeweler's files are, obviously, they're made for metal, for jewelry. I use them in all kinds of applications, but going through 2 layers of plywood when the grain changes, I'm just gonna have to wait until the carving tools get here. So, well, I've got the bottom layer of the table cut out. It's exactly the same size as the top layer. It is also 3/4 inch plywood. It's, I don't think it's BCX. It was in the Ready panel section, but whatever it is, it's a nice straight piece of 3/4 inch plywood. I've got it leveled with my sawhorses here. The garage has a pitch to the downward towards the front garage door and a pitch downward to the back garage door. So I have the sawhorses on either side of the crown of the garage. I got it leveled off. My sawhorses are not even, so I've got some paper underneath the legs. This side there is a stick under there, so the table is level, and I want to make sure that's level before I put the top piece on, because I'm going to put the poplar borders on today, and then I'll have to redo all this leveling when I get to the epoxy stage. But I just want to make sure that the top board is level to the bottom board so I can get the side trim pieces put on accurately. Okay, I've got the tables, the 2 pieces of the tables matched up, top and bottom, so I'm ready to do the side trim pieces. I've got the piece of poplar, first piece cut here at a 45-degree angle. So I will match that up to this corner, get it clamped in place, and then work my way around. Okay, so I gotta mark my cut over here, and then I'll just copy this piece for the other side, and then work on the end pieces, and I'll come back and show you how this looks when it's all clamped in place and ready to drill. So I'm gonna drill holes, and then I'll get the wood glue out and screw it in place, and hopefully not glue the top to the bottom. Okay, this side is clamped in place, and I will get my drill bit set up to drill this piece of trim in place, and I'll then screw it in place, and then I'll work on the other side and just do the exact same thing on the other piece, and then I'll make the end pieces as well and do them in the exact same fashion. I just discovered that I've got a piece of plywood that apparently splintered away when I was routing. So I'm probably gonna have to use some wood glue as a fillet here. Once I get to the epoxy stage, I need the epoxy to come right up to the top of the raised portion of the wood here, and that's gonna create a channel for the epoxy to flow down, and I can't have that. So little wood glue filler, I think, is gonna be the best option for that little gap. But you can see there's just a lot of clamping and iterations going on here in order to get this to where you want it to be. I mean, this is going to be a piece of art table, so there's a lot of work that goes along with it. I'm really looking forward to getting my carving tools because I just want to get the raised portion done and be ready for the epoxy. Hopefully the epoxy will be here Wednesday or Thursday this week. I don't know, it's still delayed by FedEx. I'm a little bit disappointed in myself here because I thought that I was videoing while I was installing the the trim pieces, but apparently I took a picture and thought I started the video. But anyway, pretty much everything's cleaned up at this point. I've got the side trim pieces installed and glued in place. I just use regular wood glue all the way around. You can see it drying right now. I may have to come back and do a little bit of sanding if there's too much of a yellow color, but I'll probably wait to do that after I add some color to the land areas here with the torch. The poplar worked out great. I do plan on routing the edge here with a quarter inch round bit, just because that's pretty sharp. You know, people leaning on it, it's not going to be comfortable. So I'll do that at some point before putting epoxy on. So this is pretty much all I can do for today. It's Monday, and my wood carving tools should be here tomorrow, so I can get into the details. Just so you can see the bottom layer of the table, there's that other 3/4 inch plywood board. There's about a 1/4 inch exposed, but the trim around the top part of the table captures that. And then I'll put the tabletop mount, which is over here. So that'll get installed on the bottom side of the table, probably tomorrow or the next day. But looks awesome so far. Okay, it's time to get the edges, the trim pieces that I put on yesterday, get the corners routed and the top edge here. Got my 1/4 inch bit in the router, 1/4 inch round. So let's make some noise and a mess. That went well. Nice round edge all the way around. I'll do a little bit more smoothing with a hand sander, but that's what I needed to get done today before the snow gets here. So take a little bit of the roughness off with a hand sander, and then I'm gonna start chipping away wood carving. All the sanding is done, at least the sanding that needs to be done along the edges here on the raised parts. Still a little bit left, but I'm gonna use the torch to put some color in this anyway, and I think the glue will disappear. Not worried about it down here. That's all gonna be That's all gonna be covered by colored epoxy. So I've got my wood carving tools out, and I'm gonna teach myself how to use these. And I'll grab some video of carving some of these shapes out here in just a little bit. I'm going to use a Dremel router to cut these shapes out a little bit quicker, and then I'll switch over to the tools that I just got. The reason I'm doing this is the tools will take forever. And I just remembered that I have a router bit for my Dremel with the guard on. Makes fairly quick work of it. So that's how we're going to start. Got the good amount of detail done with the Dremel, and now I have to switch over to the carving tools because I can't get into areas like that or along the canal here. So got a little bit of rough cleanup to do that the router started making marks with as the blade was probably starting to get a little bit dull, but these all look really good. So real happy with the way that turned out. So time to start chipping away with the carving tools. the table completely carved and ready to go for coloring with some flame on a torch. All the harbors and bays and coves and all that stuff has been carved out fairly accurately to what Door County looks like. So I'm gonna get the torch out and fire coming up. Well, there's one strange view, but let's see if we can make some color. That bottle's empty. I'll have to let that warm up a little bit before I go touching this to put it on a new bottle, and we can continue on.
Merry Christmas, Tom, Aaron Rodgers. You gotta blow this down.
Well, this is kind of a boring way to end the day, this part of the video anyway, but this is the bottom board for the table. I just glued down a backing plate for the pedestal mount, and just to test it out, it snaps in place. So there's our pedestal. Snaps in and out easily. So we're all good there. So this part of the table's done. And now all I have to do is wait for my epoxy to arrive, which was supposed to be here today, and it will not be. So, all right, everybody, we're gonna end this video here. I know it's kind of a anticlimactic ending to this part of the video, but I've already recorded the beginning of the epoxy application for the table. The blue is on. I haven't done the clear coat yet, just because it has to cure for 7 days. But after recording all that, I'm up to about an hour and 25 minutes of edited footage. I got to pare that down. So I'm gonna cut this video in half. Here, it might even be 3 parts, because the third part of the table will be the installation. So this will end up being like a 6-part series altogether, building a dinette, but I hope you're enjoying it up to this point. And the next video will be putting the epoxy on the table. It looks fantastic. I'm so happy with it. So look forward to that next week. And yeah, just I hope you're enjoying it. Sometimes these videos, I try to keep my videos 30 minutes or less, usually 20, 25 if I can. Every once in a while, they end up being 35, 40 minutes. The bow hatch video that came out back just before the new year was like 40 minutes long. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this segment of building a dinette for the Chris-Craft 381 Catalina. I'm certainly enjoying this project. Send me some comments, hit that like button, and if you want to be notified when I post new videos like this one, hit that notification bell after you subscribe. We'll see you next time on the Wisco Boater channel. Happy boating, everybody.